If you're over 65 and your legs feel weaker than they used to, I need you to pay very close attention to what I'm about to say, because what most doctors tell you about staying strong is only half the truth. You've probably been told to walk more, stay active, keep moving, and you do. You walk around the house, maybe around the block, you're not sitting still all day. But here's what nobody explains. Walking will never rebuild the muscle you've already lost. Let me say that again. Walking maintains muscle, it does not rebuild it. And after 65, you're not trying to maintain, you're trying to get back what's disappearing. There's a medical term for this, sarcopenia. It's the silent muscle loss that happens to nearly every senior, and it's the reason stairs feel harder, getting out of chairs takes effort, and your balance isn't what it used to be. But here's the part that should make you angry, it's completely reversible. Before we go any further, if this is making sense to you, do me a favor and drop your age and where you're watching from in the comments right now. I want to know how many people are dealing with this and didn't even know it had a name. Now, here's what I'm going to show you today. There's one exercise you can do with nothing but a kitchen chair that specifically targets the muscle fibers walking can't touch. Surgeons and physiotherapists use this same movement to assess leg strength in their patients. And when done correctly, it rebuilds leg muscle faster than anything else you can do at home. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do it, why it works when everything else fails, and what you should feel in the first 2 weeks if you're doing it right. Let's start with why your legs are weaker than they should be, and why it's not your fault. Here's what's happening inside your legs right now, and why you can't see it until it's already taken away your strength. Starting around age 50, your body begins losing muscle mass at a rate of about 1 to 2% per year. By the time you hit 65, you've lost somewhere between 15 and 30% of the muscle you had in your 40s. And it's not spread evenly across your body, it targets your legs first. Your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes. These are the muscles that let you stand up, climb stairs, catch yourself when you stumble. And they're shrinking, not because you're lazy, not because you're not trying, but because the way most people stay active after 65 doesn't send the right signal to those muscles to stay strong. Think about your daily movement. You walk to the kitchen. You walk to the mailbox. You move around the house. All of that is forward motion, horizontal movement, and yes, it's good for your heart, it's good for your joints, it keeps you mobile. But it does almost nothing for the muscles that lift you upward. Getting out of a chair is vertical force. Climbing stairs is vertical force. Standing up from the toilet, stepping up onto a curb, lifting yourself out of the bathtub, all vertical. And walking doesn't train that. So what happens? Your legs get weaker in the exact movements you need most. And because it happens slowly, you don't notice. You just start using your arms more. You grab the armrest, you hold the railing, you push off the counter. And your legs get weaker still. This is sarcopenia. And here's the part most people don't realize. It's not age that causes it. It's inactivity of the right kind. Your muscles don't care how old you are. They respond to one thing: resistance. When you challenge them, they grow. When you don't, they shrink. And walking, as much as you do it, is not enough resistance to rebuild what you've lost. But a kitchen chair is. Why the chair exercise works. Let me explain why this one movement is more powerful than anything else you can do at home, and why surgeons use it to measure leg strength in their patients. It's called the sit-to-stand test. And in hospitals and rehab centers, it's the gold standard for assessing lower body strength in older adults. Doctors use it because it tells them everything they need to know. Can this person live independently? Are they at risk of falling? How much function have they lost? But here's what makes it brilliant. The same test is also the cure. When you sit in a chair and stand up using only your legs, you're forcing every major muscle in your lower body to fire at once. Your quads have to extend your knees. Your glutes have to extend your hips. Your calves have to stabilize your ankles. And all of it happens under load, the weight of your own body. That's resistance. Real, measurable resistance. And when you repeat it over and over, those muscles have no choice but to respond. Now compare that to walking. When you walk, your body weight is spread across both legs, and momentum does half the work. You're never lifting your full weight vertically. You're never challenging those muscles to their limit. So they maintain, but they don't grow. But when you stand up from a chair, especially if you do it slowly and with control, you're isolating the exact muscles that sarcopenia attacks first. And you're giving them the one thing they need to rebuild: progressive resistance. Here's the other reason this works so well. Most strength exercises for seniors require equipment or balance or getting down on the floor. And if your legs are already weak, those things feel impossible. You can't do a squat if your knees hurt. You can't do lunges if your balance is off. You can't get on the floor if you're not sure you can get back up. But everyone has a chair. And everyone can sit down. That makes this the most accessible strength exercise in the world. And because you're working against your own body weight, it's automatically scaled to your ability. If you weigh 120 pounds, you're lifting 120 pounds. If you weigh 180, you're lifting 180. It adjusts to you. Researchers have studied this exact movement in older adults, and the results are clear. When seniors do sit-to-stand exercises 3 times a week for 8 weeks, they see significant improvements in leg strength, balance, and walking speed. Some studies show strength gains of 20 to 30% in just 2 months. That's not maintenance. That's rebuilding. So if you've been told that weakness is just part of getting older, or that you've lost too much to get it back, that's wrong. Your muscles are still there. They're just waiting for the right stimulus. And a kitchen chair gives you that stimulus every single time you use it. Now let me show you exactly how to do this the right way. Alright, here's how you perform the sit-to-stand exercise correctly, step by step. And I want you to pay close attention to the details, because small adjustments make a huge difference in how effective this is. Step 1. Choose the right chair. You want a sturdy chair with no wheels. A kitchen chair or dining chair works perfectly. The seat should be at a height where your knees are bent at about 90 degrees when you sit down. If the chair is too low, it'll be too hard. If it's too high, it won't challenge your muscles enough. And make sure the chair is against a wall or heavy enough that it won't slide backward when you sit down. Step 2. Sit at the edge of the seat. Don't sit all the way back. You want to be perched at the front third of the chair, with your feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Your knees should be directly over your ankles, not too far forward, not too far back. This position is important because it keeps your weight centered and makes sure your legs are doing the work, not your momentum. Step 3. Position your arms. This is where most people make the first mistake. If you can, cross your arms over your chest. This forces your legs to do 100% of the lifting. If that's too hard right now, you can rest your hands lightly on your thighs for balance, but don't push. Your hands are there for stability, not assistance. And if you absolutely need to use the armrests, that's okay. You're going to start there and work your way to hands-free. Progress is progress. Step 4. Stand up slowly. Here's the key. Lean forward slightly from your hips, just a little bit, so your nose moves forward over your toes. Then press through your heels and stand up in one smooth motion. Don't rock. Don't use momentum. Just stand. It should take you about 2 to 3 seconds to go from sitting to standing. Slow and controlled. If you're popping up too fast, you're not getting the full benefit. Step 5. Pause at the top. When you reach full standing, pause for 1 second. Stand tall. Squeeze your glutes. Feel your legs working. This pause is what turns a simple movement into a strength exercise. Step 6. Sit back down with control. This is just as important as standing up, maybe more important. Lower yourself back down slowly, taking 3 to 4 seconds to return to the seat. Don't just drop. Your muscles are working hardest during this lowering phase, and that's where a lot of the strength building happens. When your bottom touches the chair, that's 1 repetition. Now here's how to structure your sets. Start with 8 to 10 repetitions. If that feels too easy, great, do 12. If it feels too hard, do 5 and work your way up. The goal is to feel your legs working, but not to the point of shaking or pain. Rest for 60 seconds, then do a second set. Then rest again and do a third set. 3 sets, 3 times a week. That's it. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Just make sure you have a rest day in between so your muscles can recover and rebuild. And here's what you should feel. During the exercise, you should feel your thighs burning a little. That's your quads working. You might feel your glutes engaging when you stand. And the day after, you might feel sore in your legs. That's normal. That's your muscles responding. But you should never feel sharp pain in your knees or hips. If you do, stop. Check your form. Make sure your knees aren't caving inward and your weight is centered. If the pain continues, see a doctor before you keep going. Now, let me tell you what happens when you do this consistently. Here's the truth about rebuilding muscle after 65. It doesn't happen overnight. But it also doesn't take as long as you think. And if you stick with this exercise, you're going to notice changes faster than almost anything else you could do. In the first 2 weeks, you're going to feel your legs waking up. That might sound strange, but that's the best way to describe it. Muscles that haven't been challenged in months or years are suddenly being asked to work again, and your nervous system has to relearn how to recruit them. You might not see visible changes yet, but you'll feel it. Getting out of your chair at the dinner table will feel a little easier. You might not need to push off the armrest as hard. That's your brain reconnecting with your muscles, and it's the first sign that things are working. By week 4, you'll start noticing functional improvements. Stairs won't feel as daunting. You'll walk with a little more confidence. If you've been shuffling or taking small steps, you might find yourself taking longer strides without even thinking about it. This is when other people might start to notice too. Maybe someone comments that you seem steadier on your feet. Maybe you realize you haven't needed to hold the railing as tightly. These are the small wins that add up. Between weeks 6 and 8, the strength gains become undeniable. If you've been doing 3 sets, 3 times a week, your legs are measurably stronger now. You'll be able to do more repetitions than when you started. You'll stand up faster. You'll lower yourself down with more control. And this is where your balance improves too. Strong legs don't just help you move, they help you stabilize. If you stumble, your legs can catch you. That reduces your fall risk dramatically. By 3 months, you've rebuilt a significant amount of the muscle you lost. Studies show that older adults who did this exercise consistently for 12 weeks can regain 20 to 30% of their lost leg strength. That's the difference between needing help getting out of a chair and doing it without thinking. That's the difference between avoiding stairs and climbing them confidently. And here's the best part. Once you've rebuilt that strength, it's easier to maintain. You don't have to keep pushing as hard. You just have to keep doing it 3 times a week for the rest of your life, and your legs will stay strong. But I need to be honest with you about something. This only works if you actually do it. And I know how easy it is to watch a video like this, nod along, feel motivated, and then never start. So let me give you a challenge right now. After you finish watching this video, go find a kitchen chair. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't wait until Monday. Just go do 1 set. 8 repetitions. That's 2 minutes. And see how it feels. If it's too easy, you'll know you can push harder next time. If it's challenging, you'll know this is exactly what your legs need. Either way, you'll have started. And starting is the hardest part. Now, let me show you how to make this even more effective as you get stronger. Once you've been doing the basic sit to stand exercise for a few weeks and it starts to feel easier, you have 2 options. You can stay where you are and maintain your strength, or you can progress and keep building. If your goal is just to keep your legs functional and prevent further muscle loss, staying at 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions is perfectly fine. You'll maintain what you've gained, and that's a huge win. But if you want to keep getting stronger, and there's no reason you can't, here's how you progress. Option 1. Increase your repetitions. Instead of 10 reps per set, go to 12, then 15, then 20. The more repetitions you do, the more you're building muscular endurance, which helps with daily activities that require sustained effort, like walking longer distances or standing for extended periods. Option 2. Slow down the movement. If 10 reps feels easy, try taking 5 seconds to stand up and 5 seconds to sit down. The slower you go, the harder your muscles have to work to control the movement. This builds strength without adding any extra equipment. Option 3. Use a lower chair. Remember how I said the height of the chair matters? A lower chair makes the exercise harder because your legs have to lift you from a deeper position. If you've been using a standard dining chair, try a lower stool or ottoman. Just make sure it's stable. Option 4. Hold a weight. If you're ready for this, you can hold a light dumbbell, a water bottle, or even a bag of rice against your chest while you do the exercise. Start with just a few pounds and see how it feels. This adds resistance without changing the movement pattern. Option 5. Do single leg variations. This is advanced, but if you get strong enough, you can try standing up using only one leg while the other hovers just off the ground. This is incredibly challenging, and most people won't need to go this far, but it's there if you want it. Now, here's something important. You don't have to progress if you don't want to. There's no rule that says you have to keep adding difficulty forever. If you reach a level where you feel strong, stable, and capable, and you want to stay there, stay there. The goal is function and independence, not setting records. But if you're someone who likes having goals and pushing yourself, know that your body is still capable of getting stronger at 65, 75, even 85. Age slows the process down, but it doesn't stop it. And here's one more variation I want to mention, because it's incredibly useful if you have knee pain or arthritis. If standing up from a regular chair hurts your knees, try adding a cushion or folded towel to the seat. This raises the height slightly and reduces the range of motion, which takes pressure off your knees. You'll still get the strength benefit, but with less discomfort. As your legs get stronger, you can remove the cushion and work back down to the standard height. The key is to meet yourself where you are and progress at your own pace. There's no rush. You're not competing with anyone. You're just trying to be stronger next month than you are today. Now let's talk about why this works when everything else has failed. I want to come back to something I said at the beginning, because it's the most important point in this entire video. and it's the one thing most doctors don't explain clearly enough. Walking is not strength training. It's cardiovascular exercise. It's joint mobility. It's movement. And all of those things are good. But walking does not rebuild muscle. And if you've already lost muscle, walking will not bring it back. Here's why. When you walk, your muscles are working, yes, but they're working at a very low intensity. You're not lifting your full body weight. You're not challenging your muscles to their maximum capacity. You're just moving them through their normal range of motion. Think of it this way. If you wanted to build arm strength, would you wave your arms back and forth for 30 minutes? No. You'd lift something heavy. The same principle applies to your legs. Walking maintains what you have. Resistance training rebuilds what you've lost. And this is where a lot of seniors get stuck. They're told to stay active, so they walk every day. They're moving, they're trying, they're doing what they've been told. But their legs keep getting weaker. And they don't understand why. It's because walking trains your cardiovascular system and your endurance, not your strength. Those are two different adaptations. Your body responds to the demands you place on it. If you only walk, your body says, okay, we need to be good at walking. But it doesn't say, we need to be able to lift heavy things. Sit-to-stand training sends a completely different signal. It says, we need to be able to generate force. We need to lift our body weight against gravity. We need power. And your muscles respond to that. They get thicker. They get stronger. They recruit more muscle fibers. That's how sarcopenia gets reversed. Now, does this mean you should stop walking? Absolutely not. Walking is still one of the best things you can do for your health. It's good for your heart, your lungs, your circulation, your mood. Keep walking. But add this. 3 times a week, spend 10 minutes doing sit-to-stand exercises. That combination, walking for endurance, sit-to-stand for strength, is what keeps you independent. Because here's what independence actually looks like. It's not just being able to move. It's being able to stand up from the toilet without help. It's being able to get out of a car without someone pulling you up. It's being able to pick something up off the floor and stand back up without holding onto furniture. All of that requires strength. And walking alone won't give you that. But a kitchen chair will. Let me tell you what happens when sarcopenia goes untreated, because this isn't just about feeling weaker. It's about what weak legs take away from your life. Falls are the leading cause of injury and death in adults over 65. And most falls happen because someone's legs couldn't catch them. They tripped, they stumbled, they lost their balance, and their legs weren't strong enough to recover. Strong legs don't just move you forward. They stabilize you. They catch you when you slip. They give you the power to correct your balance before you hit the ground. When your legs are weak, every uneven surface becomes a hazard. Every crack in the sidewalk, every loose rug, every wet floor. You start avoiding situations where you might fall, which means you go out less, you do less, you move less. And the less you move, the weaker you get. It's a cycle, but the impact goes beyond falls. Weak legs affect your confidence. You start saying no to things you used to enjoy. You don't want to walk to the park with your grandkids because you're not sure you can keep up. You don't want to travel because airports involve too much walking. You don't want to go to social events because you're worried about stairs or hard to navigate spaces. And slowly, your world gets smaller. I've talked to seniors who told me they stopped going to church because they couldn't trust their legs on the steps. I've talked to people who stopped visiting friends because they were embarrassed about needing help getting out of chairs. This is what sarcopenia steals. Not just strength, freedom. But here's the other side of that. When you rebuild your leg strength, you get that freedom back. You start saying yes again. You make plans. You go places. You stop worrying about whether you'll be able to stand up or keep your balance. You just do it, and that changes everything. So when I tell you to do this exercise 3 times a week, I'm not asking you to add one more thing to your routine. I'm asking you to protect your independence. To keep doing the things you love. To stay in control of your life. Because you deserve that, and your legs are capable of it. I want to end with this, because I know some of you are watching this and thinking, it's too late for me. I've lost too much. I'm too old. You're not. Your muscles don't have an expiration date. Yes, they respond more slowly after 65 than they did at 25. Yes, it takes longer to see results. But they still respond. Study after study has shown that people in their 70s, 80s, even 90s can build muscle when they train with resistance. The difference isn't your age. It's whether or not you're giving your muscles the stimulus they need. And if you've been walking every day, staying active, trying your best, and you're still getting weaker, that doesn't mean you're failing. It means you've been using the wrong tool for the job. Walking is a screwdriver. Strength training is a hammer. They're both useful, but they do different things. And sarcopenia requires a hammer. So if you take one thing away from this video, let it be this. You have not lost too much to get it back. Your legs are not broken. They're just undertrained. And a kitchen chair is all you need to fix that. 3 times a week. 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. That's it. That's the price of keeping your independence. And if you do it, if you actually start today and stick with it for the next 3 months, you're going to feel like a different person. Stairs won't scare you. Chairs won't trap you. You'll move through your day with confidence, knowing your legs can handle whatever comes. That's not a promise. That's what the research shows. That's what happens when you train your muscles the right way. So go grab a chair. Do 1 set right now. And then come back here and tell me how it felt. Drop a comment. Let me know you started. Because I want to hear from the people who are actually going to do this. You're not too old. You're not too weak. You just needed the right information. And now you have it.